We are group 4 and we're doing AI and teaching. My name is Corey Long.
Miss Claudia Martinez.
My name is Emilio Rodriguez.
I'm Madeline Ruiz.
And I'm Alicia Urquiza.
Okay, so for our table of contents, we're going to start out with the introduction, go into the current uses of AI, the impacts identified, future trends, ethical considerations, recommendations, and finally the conclusion. So for our introduction, did you know by 2026, the market for AI in education is expected to reach over $20 billion, over 200% increase from 2024. AI is a machine learning software programmed to mimic human intelligence. It is essentially a virtual assistant that can do anything from searching the web to answering your questions to complex problem solving and anything beyond that. AI is used in education for multiple different facets, such as creating visuals for students, such as infographics and slideshows, AI tutoring to assist students, personalized lesson plans for teachers, AI-powered grading and feedback tools. And AI in education is important for teachers because it reduces their workload and increases their personalization options. It's important for students because it adapts to each student's individual learning needs. And it's important for parents to provide feedback and insights into their students' progress.
My name is Claudia, and I'll be going over some of the current AI trends using this tool. One of them is automated grading, as seen on a platform like PackBack, as described on the research page on packback.com, curiosity scoring, instant scoring on the writing quality of each post, encouraging discussion without the need of instructor grading and monitoring, and Deep Dive, an instant feedback tool, allowing students to enhance their writing with suggestions and AI writing assistance. Similarity checkers for plagiarism, one big one being Turnitin that's implemented across various educational platforms, such as Canvas, Blackboard, and Schoology. We also have presentation creation. AI generation tools have been integrated in various presentation creators that thousands of instructors use on the daily, such as PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva, or Prezi. And we also have personalized learning and tutoring for full-time coverage during after hours, allowing students to receive immediate assistance and answer any questions, such as Poe. This bot can act as a teaching assistant and aid students with learning material questions, and ClassDojo Sidekick, an AI assistant that supports personalized student learning.
I'm Alicia, and I'll be going over the impacts identified. To start with, AI's impact on job roles. As AI assistants become more popular, especially in administrative tasks, it's allowed for more one-on-one student interactions, mentioned by Illinois University. Teachers also are responsible for adapting to new roles. As mentioned before, with AI assistants, they've changed the more traditional teaching role with the ability to provide personalized lesson plans for students and automatically grading. Teachers transition from being the sole deliverers of content to being content facilitators, as Forbes points out, and they function as a supervisor of AI and students. This requires continuous professional development, and as AI advances, teachers must do the same to keep up by attending workshops or doing different courses. It's also impacted various skill requirements, such as AI literacy, which is one of the most important ones, with teachers needing to understand AI as a tool and the limitations that it has. And AI bias awareness is another big one, especially bias for non-native speakers. There was a study published by Illinois University that detailed non-native English speakers have a higher chance of being wrongfully flagged for plagiarism. Due to not being fluent, they use simpler English words, and AI will sometimes go through it and flag it as AI-generated content falsely. Teachers also must be able to modify the personalized learning recommendations that AI may give, modify it further for individual students, and overall being an advocate for ethical use and promoting data protecting policies while also not over relying on it. AI has also influenced the education industry landscape. To the right, I have a graph published by Grandview Research that shows the growth of AI in the education market and its predicted from 2025 to 2030 that it will increase by 31.2% CAGR, which is the compound annual growth rate. Educational institutions have also began to develop AI programs, such as Purdue University's AI microdential program, to adapt to this shift. And AI tutors have become more embraced. For example, if a student is really struggling with writing, a teacher may not have the time to re-edit that same piece of writing over and over, but an AI tutor could, especially if it's off school hours or that a student may need extra explanation. It can give more personalized and in-depth explanations. And the growth of AI tech firms overall could lead to a potential collaboration with educational institutions. AI has also had an ethical impact on education. A key point is that AI should be used to assist teachers and is not at all a replacement. It can be a really useful tool, but will never substitute human instruction, as NetGuru put it. Poor performing teachers will still be poor performing even with AI. That won't change. And if a teacher becomes too dependent on AI, it'll hinder the critical social aspects of learning. And it also has the potential to increase educational inequalities, which we'll touch on more in detail later. And AI is usually designed to be quick and spit out an answer, which isn't always ideal to inspire deeper thinking or inspire more learning from students.
I'm Madeline, and I'm going to talk about the future trends of AI in education. So one of the future trends of AI in education is AI agents. AI agents are AI-generated tools that will be available to work autonomously. This means that these AI agents could potentially listen in on a teacher's lesson or collect data from a learning objective and create future lesson plans and materials all on its own. There's also generative AI, which is currently in the early stages. Generative AI can be used to develop specific materials for learning. This can be worksheets, assignments, slideshows, or even short films to help students grasp material. According to the World Economics Forum article, they believe that AI can take care of data analysis and repetitive tasks, which will allow for teachers to focus on the person-to-person interaction with students. These repetitive tasks are grading, lesson planning, data collection, and other administrative tasks. In the future, teachers will use AI to monitor students' progress so they can free up more time for person-to-person interactions. AI can provide continuous and instant data collection that allows teachers to identify gaps with minimal effort and catch them before they become too large. AI can also create predictive analytics that let you know when students are at risk for falling behind due to their current test scores. Teachers will also use AI to personalize lesson plans. Adaptive learning platforms that provide instant feedback. AI can track students' performances daily to update teachers on what topics each student needs more practice on. And AI can also generate varied material to address each student's learning style. The overarching theme is that in the future, teachers will work in tandem with AI to make the learning process more effective and seamless for their students and themselves. Using AI can free up teachers' time to allow them more time in the classroom to give lessons and have important interactions and conversations. Using AI can help elevate each student's learning experience in school by identifying their unique learning styles and creating custom work for each student. The use of AI will help teachers become better educators and their students more successful in the classroom.
All right, my name is Amelia, and we're going to be talking about ethical considerations in the classroom with AI. So AI is trained on past data, and it's mostly text such as websites, articles, or pretty much anything that you can see on the internet. So a student's essay might not be read the same as the way the AI model is trained on, according to all those articles and all that. So it might flag it for a bad grade, or it might flag it for plagiarism when we know that's not the case, which could lead to a lot of frustration with the students and just them not liking the bad grade. We live in a society where our grades really define how happy we are, unfortunately. And so that will also, having an AI helping with grading will just be really bad for students' mental health. Secondly, we're going to talk about some over-reliance on AI. As we all know, it can do a lot of things for everybody, but for teachers, it can really help them with lesson plans and basically just formulations or on how to make something seem a little more teachable to a student. A lot of these biased data points could lead to bad lesson plans or the sharing of false information, and we don't want false information to be learned to be taught to the future generation. You know, we want them to be rightfully taught, and just having too much AI will kind of just hinder that and kind of create some blur for some of the students. And some skills are meant to be taught by a human, such as ethical considerations or ethics and norms, or even just social aspects that are going to be used in day-to-day life that sadly AI cannot teach. Going on now into accessibility, the US system does cover a lot of areas and covers different demographics and backgrounds. According to a article found in the James Madison University Library, this could lead to a big inequality in learning systems. And what I mean by that is that some areas are not as developed as other areas. So if we put AI access into a not as developed area, it might be a little bit more expensive for them because they have to pay for more Wi-Fi, have more tablets or computers, and it makes it really hard for every student to have that opportunity compared to as if you did it in a more developed area where Wi-Fi and having these resources is really not something too hard to get in their hands. It could create a big inequality and widen the gap of privileged versus unprivileged even more.
Now we're going to go over some of the recommendations on using this tool in education. Ensure accessibility for all students. As stated on an article written by Targeted News Service, when online learning was implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic, many students experienced lack of access to materials necessary for this new learning structure, such as computers or Wi-Fi connection. Most AI models have limited usage before requiring the user to switch to a paid model. If AI tools are going to be used as supplementary learning material for students, it's imperative that they are available for all students of various economic backgrounds. This could be achieved by limiting AI usage to basic non-paid models or assistant programs or vouchers for any necessary fees that might arise. Be transparent of AI usage. AI is still a new learning technology. Error is possible. For instance, plagiarism checkers, such as Turnitin, might occasionally incorrectly flag words and phrases as plagiarism, causing the similarity score to increase, potentially flagging a student's original work as plagiarism. It's important to acknowledge this chance of this error and be honest and open about AI usage and grading so that students are aware and can advocate for themselves and dispute any potential incorrect claims generated by AI. And instructors should unbiasedly review AI grading. If any issues arise, academic honesty is extremely important, and as role models to students, instructors as well need to abide and reflect by these values. Be aware of overdependence with students. By introducing AI, this incredible tool to students that's very convenient, some of them might end up using it to do all their schoolwork, which leads them to not develop and hone their critical thinking skills. This is already presented as seen on the Google Chrome store with multiple AI extensions that can give students instantaneous answers on educational platforms that host quizzes and assignments, where they don't even have to flick to another tab to get the instant answers. As educators educate themselves with AI usage and implement it into learning, they must also ensure that students stay on the right track. This can be done by periodically administering paper assignments and tests, implementing strict, secure monitoring proctoring methods for online exams. It's very important that students that are struggling with heavy AI reliance be connected to helpful resources. The sooner that the learning difficulties are recognized, the more time instructors and admin have to provide and support to help students catch up. Quality control. While AI is a great tool for assistance, generated content should be checked and any necessary corrections should be made. AI may sometimes hallucinate, as defined on an article published on IEE Explore, when fulfilling a request in which the generator makes up an asked answer to complete the task. Having quality control can give generative AI models feedback for future improvements.
Okay, and finally, I'm going to go through our conclusion. To summarize, AI is not something that teachers have to be worried about as a replacement. It's more so AI with teachers. Teachers and AI should work together to create the best learning experience possible for their students.